I just got a mini PC for my Homelab and I'm testing out different operating systems to see which is the best. So far, I've looked at Zima, Proxmox, TrueNAS. I am now going to take a look at Unraid. As a caveat, I use Unraid on 2 other servers, so I am quite familiar with it. But I will tell you this, I used to think Unraid was the bee's knees, but since I had a look at TrueNAS, maybe not so much. Now, unlike TrueNAS and the other operating systems, there is no community version. It is paid only. You do get a month-long trial version. I think that's on the Unleashed. The license is a one-off, and then you have a yearly upgrades fee. The Unleashed is $109, and then it's like $30 a year to keep getting the updates and stuff like that. Or you can just buy the $250 lifetime license. If you do purchase, there is a link in my description. It is an affiliate. Please feel free to support me. Documentation is pretty good. It's very easy to understand. Beginner, intermediate, you're going to have no issues with this. I will say Unraid and TrueNAS are probably the intermediate step you would take. If you are intermediate, you're going to have no issues. When you get started, if you're not using Bell and Etcher, Unraid have their own USB creator because the operating system lives on the USB stick itself. You put it in, you leave it in, everything runs off the USB. And because of that, the GUID, the ID of that USB code is linked to your license, meaning if the USB dies, you have to go through a couple of steps to reinstall and get it working again. Doesn't mean that it stops running. It just means if you try to reboot, it'll have problems. And then there's some forms, and it's not particularly difficult. I've had to do it before. A couple of steps. So go into BIOS, boot from the USB stick, do the install. You do have to create an account with Unraid. That will then give you the key. Then you're off to the races. You would then access over the network. One of I think the key kind of differentiators is that it doesn't matter what size drives you have. You can have, and this is why I purchased it, is I had a lot of just random hard drives laying about of all different sizes. With Unraid, you can just chuck them all in. It doesn't matter. It manages everything for you. You don't really get much of an option on what RAID type you get because it's managed. As you can see, I've got 2 hard drives in at the moment. One is a USB, one is in the device itself. So I would just set the largest device as the parity. This gives you some level of protection. You can have 2 parity drives, and then I'll just set one as the disk 1. I'm not going to create a pool at the moment. I'm just going to hit start. It does have a build process, does take a little while, and that build process essentially just gets it ready. Like the rest of them, you have a Docker system, so you can just go in and enable that, and then it will become enabled. You have a VM system, so you can just go in and enable that, and now you can run VMs. It's got all of your standard file sharing, so you can create a shared folder and then share that out locally. It's got built-in proxies. It's got a built-in VPN. You can get your WireGuard settings, come in here, set it up. So you can assign the VPN to a network ID, and then you can assign specific Docker containers or VMs to use that VPN network. The App Store is really neat. You have a massive, massive App Store of Docker containers that can just run on your system. Also expand out the functionality of Unraid by adding plugins as well. So I'm going to say this is not going to start until the parity is done. So while I'm waiting for the array, the parity to complete so I can set up the array, you can run multiple Unraid servers, and there is a Unraid Connect function, which is a plugin somewhere. And this will allow you to sort of manage multiple servers. It doesn't let you share resources or pool resources. It's more just of a web-based management system. So that's going to take a while. I'll go into one of my servers and show you a little bit more. So this is one of my servers. You can see that I've got 5 disks running on 1 parity. Here I can access shares from other servers, which means systems in the Docker can access SMB shares from other servers and other infrastructure. So it allows you to connect across devices in that way. You can set up multiple shares. You can have them public. As far as hardware goes, I'm running this on a Dell R7 620 and it's got 128 gig of RAM, and it has 2 of the Xenon CPUs in it. You can see it really doesn't get pushed that much. But if you look at how many Docker containers I'm running, there's quite a few. And you can add some plugins to organize this. I wouldn't necessarily run this on a small device. If you have a bigger box with multiple drives, then this is absolutely the right way to go, I think. It's very easy to add a VM. Windows stuff will run fine, but you do need to get the virtual drivers to set that up. It can be a little bit of a pain. Linux systems, very, very easy to just set up and get running very quickly. Who would use this? If you wanted to get into home labbing and you have a larger computer, Unraid is a very good option. Why would you choose Unraid over TrueNAS? And I think that they are very, very much the same. Like, I would put them in the same boat. Choose Unraid if you have drives hanging around of different sizes. That is a big sort of driver for it. This is a great place to start if you are really interested in getting into it, but you may not have a ton of skill out of the gate. So I think for the $40, for the $50, it's absolutely worth that as an investment because it will hold your hand really well. There's great documentation and it's kind of hard to break. Whereas TrueNAS it just has a little bit more of a learning curve. I would say Unraid has a lot lower learning curve. So for a small media device, it's not the right thing to go with. I would say Unraid for usability and different hard drive. That's really the big takeaway on why Unraid over TrueNAS.